Hello everyone, my name is Kenan and this is my beautiful Mastan. I study English language and literature, and sometimes on this channel I make videos about English literature, and today I will be trying to analyze the literary work of Philip Larkin, the poem known as Church Going. It was written in 1954 and was published for the first time in 1955. It's a postmodern literary work, and I will try to analyze and show you the most important literary details and the elements and characteristics of postmodern literature inside this poem. So let's start now.
Alright everyone, so this is our poem. Again, it was written by Philip Larkin. The name of the poem is Church Going, and it was written for the first time. It was written in 1954 and published for the first time in 1955. So the poem is about a man who is entering to a church, and there he's talking about his feelings, emotions towards the church, towards the religion and God. Now, when we read the poem, we see an agnostic person or an atheist who is against the idea of religion. That's what we see in the first stanzas. However, we will have a change, but we will see it in the end. So once I'm sure there is nothing going on, I step inside, letting the door thus shut. Another church, matting seats and stone, and little books, sprawlings of flowers cut for Sunday, brownish now, some brass and stuff, up to the holy end, the small neat organ. So once I step inside, letting the door thus shut. Now when he is closing the door, we understand that he is not, when you close a door of the church or a sacred place, you have to be what? You have to be a bit careful. You have to be silent, you have to be quiet so that you do not disturb anyone. But here we see that he is shutting the door, which means that he is angry. Also, he doesn't respect the religion. He doesn't care about what religion says. Also, it's all because some critics, some people say that it could be because he wants to make sure that by closing the door very loud, he wants to make sure that if there are people around him sitting in the church, he wants to be alone. So shutting the door could have two different explanations. One, he disrespects the religion. Second, he wants to make sure if there are people apart from him in the church. He says, matting seats and stone, little books sprawling of flowers cut for Sunday, brownish some brass. Now what we say, when we say a postmodern literary work, we understand that postmodern literary work has the combination of, modernism, realism, and romanticism little bit. Now, here we see door that shut, matting seats and stone. What we imagine? We imagine the church. We imagine everything. There's even the single dust in the church. We imagine the flowers that they were for last Sunday, and now they are brownish because it has been several days since the ceremony has gone. And we see the small organ there, which means that these are the elements of realism. Even though the poem is a postmodern literary work. And we go down, we see that he's talking about the roof, and he says, oh, is it cleaned or restored? It looks very nice, it looks very, very good. And then he moves forward, he goes to the place where the priest gives a speech, where the father gives the speech. Here he says, he opens the book and he is reading a few verses, and then he says, here ended. And then he is saying it very loud. Now here we have two different ideas. When he says, imagine that he is reading and suddenly he is closing the book just like that. So which means that when he says here ended, when he's screaming like that, it means that he either mentions the religion, that now this is the last point, the last moment of the moments of the religion. Now from now on, religion is not going to be there anymore in humankind. That could be the first. The second could be that he just finished the book and he finished the verse, that's all. Lately, he goes back to the door. I signed the book. Done, an Irish sixpence. So in that time, an Irish sixpence was not used in England, and he donates some money. Now, giving donation, he donates some money. Now, giving donation either shows, again, it has two different meanings. It either shows his carelessness about religion and towards the church, because Irish sixpence was not used there in England. It was not used. It was almost nothing. And also at the same time, it could be maybe he had just Irish sixpence, so he gave this money in order to donate to help the church. Now again, we have a lot of contradictions here. Now down we go, we see no, just one more thing about here ended. Again, this one shows the lostness of the lostness of faith in the time of modernism and postmodernism. Humanity lost their faith towards God and religion. They lost their faith. They started not to believe. Here ended also could be the example of this future. Now we go down and we can see that he is talking in this stanza. He is saying that what will happen after the church are neglected by everyone. What will happen if no one goes to the church after that? Now he says that will we keep it just to show people a few cathedrals chronically on show, or we will use them to keep animals as a shelter for animals. And down below, he's again talking about the time that the church are not going to be used by people anymore, that churches have no use. He says that, or after dark will devious women come to make their children touch a particular stone, pick simples for a cancer, or on some advised night see walking a dead one. And in the end we have grass, reedy pavement, brambles, butchers, and sky. Now here in the beginning, when we see the women coming to seek a cure, a treatment for their kids, now we see that humanity will always need a greater power than themselves. We will always need a greater power than ourselves. Now, even nowadays, cancer is a very strong disease that no one can make sure that if they are going to treat this patient. Of course, now it's possible with the technology, but even in fact, we talk about 70, 80 years ago, obviously it was not possible. And if now in that case, if we humans cannot solve this problem, cannot help ourselves, we will need a greater power to help us. So that's why we will always need a religion, even though the church is abandoned. People will go there to look for care, to look for cure for their loved ones or for themselves. In the down below, we see that the church is totally abandoned. What will happen? The nature, grass, reedy pavement, brambles, butchers, the sky, the nature will take over. Whatever comes from nature goes to the nature. Now that is the first romantic part we see in this poem. That's the first romantic part we see in this poem. So we mentioned that postmodernism is the combination of modernism realism, of course, some elements from the time itself, and romanticism as well. Now we see romanticism here in this poem. Later we see this part is not really that important, but he sees himself representative. He says that, oh, what will happen? Who will be the last one to visit this church? Or maybe it will be someone like him. Someone like him, just out of curiosity, will go there and will see what they have in the church, or what there was once in the church. Now, when we talk about postmodern literature, there's something very important that everyone has to know. We read something until one point, we think that, okay, now until here, what we have seen that this man is against religion, is against church, and he thinks that religion and church and belief in God is not important. These things are not important, and they have no use, he believes. Religion has no use. But in the last two stanzas, we see a very big twist. He says, only in separation, marriage and birth, and that, and thoughts of this for which was built, it pleases me to stand in silence here. It pleases me to stand in silence here. Now, here we see that what he has done is that he has changed his opinion. Now, he believes that religion gives him peace. Religion, sitting inside the church, gives him some peace, gives him comfort. He feels relaxed, he feels good. And he says, you know, why it should be bad? Only in separation, in marriage and birth and death and thoughts of these. So churches are the places for people to come together, to make their gatherings, ceremonies, weddings, and things like that. Churches are actually good, not bad. That's what he's thinking now. So that is a twist that we have here. Now here he's and in the down below he says, a serious house on serious earth it is. A serious house on serious earth it is, which means that what? Serious, the word serious meant religious until the end of 19th century. The word serious meant religious. Okay. Now he says, as a religious house on religious earth it is, which means that as long as there's humankind, there is a single house on earth, always there will be religion, there will be a religion on earth. That's what he's saying. So up to now, we thought in the first stanzas, in the first part of the poem, we thought he was totally against the religion. However, in the end, he says he finds peace with that. He finds peace with the existence of church. By sitting inside the church, he finds peace. Now that we see, that's a very big contradiction. That's a very big contradiction. So he is not against the church. Instead he is in favor of the church. In this part of the poem we see. All right, so coming to the themes of the poem, we can say that there is one major theme, which is the importance of a great power than ourselves, than us, which could be a religion, which could be God, which could be something supernatural. We humankind, we always need someone or something that can help us. And if that someone or something is not around us, we always need a greater power to help us. So that is probably religion that Philip Larkin wanted to say. All right, everyone, I hope you liked the poem. I hope you liked the explanation and you have learned some things. I hope that I have given you something. Thank you for watching and bye-bye. Ciao.